Welcome back. We're jumping right in today with a really pressing question for Catholics in the Philippines. Will Cebu's new Archbishop, Bishop Alberto Uy, restore the traditional Latin Mass, the 500-year-old one?
Yes, that's the heart of it, isn't it? The new Archbishop, Abet, he started with this powerful episcopal motto. It's from 1 Corinthians, Omnia facio propter Evangelium. I do all things for the sake of the gospel.
All things for the gospel. That sets a high bar.
It really does. And you know, a motto like that, it's meant to guide everything a shepherd does.
Before we dig deeper, I want to point you to our source for much of this context, www.epistles.online. It's a great resource if you're looking for a Catholic perspective that tries to be balanced, not modernist, but not ultra-traditionalist either.
That's right. And the author there, he doesn't shy away from the tough stuff. He directly tackles things like clericalism, the problems with modernism, liberalism, all the things he sees fueling this crisis of faith. Definitely worth checking out for the full picture.
Okay, so back to the motto, Omnia, all things.
Yeah, exactly. Omnia, St. Paul didn't say some things or most things. He said all. So, if Archbishop Uy truly means it, then every single decision, including this TLM question, it has to be asked, does this help the gospel flourish?
But the situation he inherits in Cebu, well, it's painful, especially given Cebu is the cradle of Christianity in Asia.
It is. Remember, just last December 2024, the TLM was suddenly suspended there under Archbishop Palma.
Right. The official line was, what, suspension until clear guidelines could be set up?
Something like that. But the result was the faithful were cut off from this ancient liturgy, the one that sustained the church for centuries.
And those clear guidelines, that sounds familiar in the wider church context, doesn't it?
It does. And you have to see this against the backdrop of Pope Leo IV's pontificate, which just started, May 2025? He's trying to foster unity, continue some reforms, but also seems to genuinely favor sacred tradition. It's a tricky path.
Especially after Pope Francis, his predecessor, who, let's be frank, was known for being quite opposed to tradition.
Exactly. Undermining the deposit of faith, as many saw it. So Archbishop Uy is navigating all these pressures.
Okay, but there's a sign of hope here, isn't there? Archbishop Uy himself.
There is. He's known as a kind shepherd, someone who listens. And crucially,
the TLM is still going in his old diocese.
Yes. In Tagbilaran, Bohol. It continues to this day. That fact alone gives Cebuano Catholics real hope. It shows he's been open to it.
So this isn't just about, old preferences or aesthetics. The argument is it's about the gospel itself.
That's the core argument from the sources, yes. It's not just nostalgia. Angela Cuba, writing on Dr. Kwasniewski's Substack called the TLM, and this is a quote, the most powerful evangelistic prayer in the history of Christianity.
Powerful claim. How so?
Because it preaches through its very form. The solemnity, the silence, the focus on the sacrifice. It shouts that God is holy, that salvation is real and serious.
And what about the people attached to it, their lives?
Well, the witness there is often quiet but strong. You see families, often large ones, committed to prayer like the rosary, making sacrifices. Their daily lives become a form of evangelization.
So denying them the Mass they draw strength from actually weakens the Church's mission, makes it less of a school of holiness.
That's the argument. It wounds them, yes, but it also arguably hinders the broader mission.
Okay, but let's be realistic. The numbers attached to the TLM are relatively small compared to the whole archdiocese.
True, they are a small flock. But, the Lord often works through the small, faithful remnant. Think of the 12 apostles. They aren't asking for anything new. They're asking for the freedom to worship, as countless saints did, using the liturgy that connects directly back 500 years to when the faith first arrived in Cebu.
That connection to sacred tradition.
It is sacred tradition, not just heritage, but the living tradition. Dr. Kwasniewski argues the liturgy is the greatest catechizer. He suggests the Church's, pathetic state today is partly because the liturgy isn't forming people properly.
So here's the challenge then, back to the motto. If the numbers are small, how does restoring the TLM fit into doing all things for the gospel? Couldn't resources be better focused elsewhere?
That's the practical question he faces, yes. But restoring it likely costs very little in practical terms. What it gains is potentially immense trust. It shows he includes everyone in that Omnia.
So it's not a threat to unity, but a path towards it.
Precisely. The Tridentine Mass is a treasure. Bringing it back would be a powerful signal, wouldn't it? A concrete action showing he means what he says about transparency and building bridges, especially with those holding on to this unbroken sacred tradition.
So it really boils down to actions, not just words or slogans.
Absolutely. Granting access proves the motto is real, that the gospel truly guides all things. But withholding it? especially when the faithful are asking for the spiritual food. Well, that could look like betraying both them and the very motto he chose.
A huge decision for him right at the start of his ministry in Cebu.
Indeed, high stakes.
We really encourage you, if you found this interesting, to check out the work being done by the author at Epistles. Please consider supporting his apostle if you can. Prayers are always welcome. Sharing his posts helps greatly, or perhaps subscribing. It helps keep his mission going and freely available. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.